Hi there, Senthilkumar. My name is Ellen, and I'll be correcting this essay for you today. I'm very happy to see that you have purchased an essay correction with us so that you can begin to prepare for IELTS. So let's take a look at what you wrote. The task 2 you've sent us today is about ex-prisoners and if they are the best people to talk to young people about crime. So let's see what you wrote about this, okay? Few individuals think incarceration has changed criminals into do-gooders and they are suitable candidates to give guidance on avoiding crime before it is being committed. However, others believe youngsters will become smarter with the knowledge of former convicts and would commit crimes without getting caught. I strongly agree that interactions will benefit adolescents to understand the after effects of crime and avoid being involved in felonies. Okay, so this has a lot of elements that I like. Specifically, you you have your position. Okay, so that's great. That's really important. You presented your position clearly, and so we know where you stand on this issue. The second thing that I like about it is the organization of your ideas is quite good in your introduction. What I want to change around is two things. I want to change around some grammar and I also want to change around some vocabulary. Okay, so these are some things we need to look at. Let's do that now. First of all, it's not few individuals because few individuals, when you say few like this without the word a, it has a negative meaning. So it's if you're saying almost none. I don't think that's what you mean here. I think you meant to say a few individuals. So you can see here that the inclusion of the article a is really quite important. So that's one thing. So a few individuals think incarceration and not has changed because that's not really the right tense here, honestly. Few individuals think incarceration changes. Okay, so it's a fact that always exists. Criminals into do-gooders. And they, maybe you need here something like and therefore they are suitable. Okay, so therefore they are suitable candidates to give guidance on avoiding crime before it is committed. I want to be honest with you, it's a little awkward, even like that. Okay, so grammatically it might be more accurate, but I still think there's some awkwardness there. Okay, so what else can we do with that? Let's see. So they, and you know what else? Do-gooders isn't really the right thing here because do-gooders has a very specific meaning. I don't think it's the ideal word here, okay? Just because you're a good citizen, it doesn't make you a do-gooder, if that makes sense, okay? So let's change that around too. Let's see. So a few individuals, you know what, I'm going to change this too. I'm going to say some individuals think that incarceration changes criminals into upstanding citizens, comma, making them suitable candidates to give guidance on avoiding crime, making them suitable can give guidance on how to avoid a life of crime. Okay? Maybe that's a better way of saying this. All right, let's move on. However, others believe youngsters will become smarter with the knowledge of former criminals and may commit crimes without getting caught. Now, I don't know about this word smarter, okay? Because smarter is supposedly a good thing, and you're trying to show us that it's smart like in a bad way, like they're going to get knowledge on how to commit crimes and get away with them. So let's change that vocabulary word a little bit. Let's see. Let's make it uh they will become more informed or they will become more prepared to commit crime. Maybe something like that would be better, okay? Let's see. Without getting caught, I strongly agree that interactions. Okay, now here you need to tell us which interactions. All right, be specific here. This is your position. So it's important that it's clear to us what your position is. So I would have added just a little more here, something like, I strongly agree that interaction with ex-convicts will benefit adolescents to understand by helping them understand the after effects of crime and avoid being involved in felonies. All right, let's move on. Firstly, being aware of the consequences of crime will stop youngsters from committing one. Teenagers do not think about the people who get affected by the crime they commit, whereas ex-criminals have gone through trials and understand the pain they caused innocent people, and they can convey this feeling, which makes the teenagers realize and avoid committing a felony. All right, a couple things I want to change here. First of all, it's do not. We don't use don't in IELTS essays because it's too informal. And then here, which makes teenagers realize. Teenagers realize what? You have to be, the word realize needs an object. Okay, so for example, a few years ago in my city, young street racers used to drive recklessly and got involved in chain snatching. I don't know what chain snatching is actually. Once police were shocked after learning that the age of all youngsters was less than 18, they arranged one-on-one sessions with ex-criminals, and later there were no crimes committed by those teenagers. Okay, so you can see that I added a few words here. I changed some of the grammar around. I like this, but there is one problem. So you don't really, your support needed to go one little step further. What do I mean? I mean that this whole thing is about how um, felons, ex-felons, teach us about the consequences of their actions. So you needed to go a step further here and say that, as a result, they talked about, or not as a result, but they talked about the consequences of their wrongdoings, and therefore this, etc., etc. So you didn't really link it back to your main idea here, and that was the problem with this. Okay. All right. You just needed to go a step further. Secondly, teenagers are easily manipulated by the drug lords to carry out their drug operations. In other words, most of the youngsters are energetic and fearless, so drug lords make use of them to maintain their supply chain. Ex-felons have real-life experience, so they can provide guidance to teenagers on staying away or handling. Okay, it's a parallel structure, so staying or handling when they are approached by drug dealers. For instance, youngsters live in foster care, are made to talk with ex-felons, with an S again, to get guidance on tackling the situation when drug dealers approach them so they can stay away from drug rackets. Okay, let's see. So let me see if I understand what your main ideas here are. Your main ideas are that ex-convicts can tell youngsters about the consequences of crime, therefore kind of persuading them not to get involved in them. That was the first idea I understood. And your second idea was basically telling us that um, they can give them guidance on how to avoid these missteps by getting involved or getting kind of pushed around by people in crime. I think this is what you're saying. That's how I understood it. Okay, so that's fair enough, I think. Let's see what else we've got. I think I wanted maybe a little more development here. Okay, like this was really specific. So, you know what I think was missing here? Take a look at this. Let me show you. So here you gave me a nice topic sentence because it was general. You said that they become aware of the consequences and so that helps them avoid it. Here you went right into the specific thing, this example about drug lords. So what I think you should have done here is said something like, secondly, teenagers are easily manipulated by hard criminals. And can be easily led into a life of crime. For example, This happens frequently with drug lords who prey on vulnerable teens to carry out their drug operations. Okay? And so then you could have gone into how the ex felons would help. So just making that link a little clearer and just organizing these ideas a little better. All right, so to conclude, teenagers interacting with criminals turned um, turned good citizens, maybe, will enlighten, you have to enlighten somebody, it needs an object, will enlighten teenagers interacting with criminals will not be, no, not even become enlightened. It's the wrong word. Will something on staying away from crime and its consequences of committing a crime so that they don't step on the wrong foot before realizing it's too late. Okay, I want to change some of this around. Um, Let me see. Teenagers interacting with criminals turned good citizens will. I really don't know how to fix this, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're trying to say here. Will enlighten on staying away from crime. Will maybe be influenced from staying away from crime by learning the consequences of it so that they do not uh, get on the wrong path before it is too late. Again, no contractions here. So you can say I had a little issue with that last sentence. So basically, I see a lot of nice elements in your writing, but there is a lot of work that needs to be done, primarily with grammar. I did have some problems with it. There were a number of errors, so that's something I really would like to see you working on. Um, let's see. In terms of task achievement, I think you did fine. I think, there's still room to grow. I think there's room to improve on that. But generally speaking, I thought you did a fine job. Um, so I want to recommend, first of all, improving your grammar, working on that, whether, through the online course, which is really comprehensive, or, just reviewing and revising grammar rules to make sure that your grammar is accurate. But I definitely want to encourage you to take a look at the link you're going to get from us on how we can continue working together so we can help you improve and prepare you for IELTS. Definitely look into that. I look forward to working with you. I hope that we can help you down the road to IELTS. So I look forward to hearing from you and I want to wish you lots and lots of luck.